Chris Norris from Korg USA here, and we're going to be talking about the GEC5 system. In this video, we'll be discussing the various inputs and outputs on both the teacher unit and the student interface, and also the different cables that you'll need to get the system up and running. Let's start with the teacher unit. First up, you'll see two 1/8" inputs for your headset. If your headset has a tip, ring, sleeve, single 1/8" jack, you'll want to plug in just the input on the left. That'll handle both the audio in the headphones as well as your microphone audio. If you have dual 1/8" jacks on your headset, you'll want to plug into both, one for the audio and the other for the microphone. Up next, we'll see a volume knob. This will control the volume of the audio in the teacher's headphones. And you'll also see auxiliary in 1, aux in 1. There you can plug in any auxiliary audio device like a CD player, an iPad, an iPod, your phone, any audio device that can go out to an 1/8" jack. Finally, here's the power toggle switch that'll turn the system on and off. As a general rule of thumb, the GEC should be the first device that you turn on and the last one you turn off. That'll help you avoid any unnecessary popping sounds or audio interference. On the rear panel of the GEC, the first input you'll see on the left is the power input. This is where you'll plug in the power adapter. Next up is the instrument input. This is a left and right dual 1/4" input, and this is typically where you'll plug in your keyboard audio. Next is an 1/8" input for auxiliary in 2. This one works the same way as the auxiliary in 1 on the front, but since it's on the rear of the unit, it's typically going to be used for an audio interface, your computer audio, or a mixer. The next two sets of 1/4" outputs are labeled room out and record out. The audio output that goes through here is the same as the audio that you'll hear through the teacher's headset. The room out and record out both have volume levels that can be controlled independently of each other in the GEC5 app. Next up on the rear panel of the teacher unit are 32 Ethernet ports. This is where you'll plug in Ethernet cables that connect to the student interfaces at each student station. Finally, at the far right of the teacher unit are two network ports. These can be used to connect the GEC5 to either a router or directly to a computer for connection to the GEC5 network and software. We'll cover that more in a separate video. Next, let's talk about the GEC5 student interface. On the left is a call button. Pressing that will get the teacher's attention by sending a soft pinging sound to the teacher's headset, and also that student's icon will light up on the software. After that, we have the aux in 1, which works the same way as the one on the teacher unit, and a student can plug in their phone, their iPad, their computer, or any other audio source into there. Next, we'll see two separate headset inputs. Just like the teacher unit, it can take either single 1/8" headsets or dual 1/8" headsets, and there are two different inputs for two different students to use. If you're using split mode, you'll have 2 students per station, and we'll cover split mode more in a separate video. Finally, there's a volume knob on the front, and this only controls the audio that the student hears. It doesn't control the audio that the teacher will hear, just the student at this one station. On the rear of the student interface, we have auxiliary input 2. This is typically used for the computer audio at the student station, but again, any audio signal can be plugged in. Next up is instrument in, and this is typically where you'll plug in your keyboard or your guitar or your main instrument. Mic out is an 1/8" output that will allow the audio from the student's headset microphone to be output to any audio device. You could plug the mic out into the mic input on your computer or to an audio interface for recording of the student's voice. Finally, we see a network input. This is where the Cat5 cable from the teacher unit is going to plug in so that the student interface can communicate with the teacher unit. Click the link on the right to access the next video in this series, in which we'll cover connecting the GEC5 to a router and accessing the GEC5 wireless network. If you have any questions, you can contact us at korg.com/education. Thanks for watching.